In this lesson, we're going to look at how to save audio. So this is save the project, but also export the audio as well. The first thing is, if you wanted to save this as a project, as an Audacity project, it's as simple as this: File, Save Project. So, or Control S if I wanted to do that, Save Project As. You can save things to the cloud. Audacity do have a cloud thing with audio.com. I'm just going to save to my computer because it's much simpler that way. Save to computer. And again, where do you want to save it? For the purposes of all these exercises, I'm just going to save to the desktop. Obviously, if these were real projects, I do not recommend storing everything on the desktop because obviously it's going to become unmanageable very, very quickly. But for now, it's absolutely fine. Okay, so I'm going to save this and I'm going to call it Indraxi. Okay, because that's Indraxi introducing yourself. So these are audio project files, or sorry, Audacity project files. Okay, so that has saved there. Now you can actually see it on the desktop. If I open up this, I see desktop and I have this here. The reason it's like this is because it's still open, but if I close this, we'll see that now we have this Indraxi project file. It's just right there. It's also there as well. That's a link to Audacity, the application, and that's the Indraxi file that we just opened. And if I double click on that, we'll open it in Indraxi, and there it is, exactly as it was already. So that would be, if you're used to working with something like Photoshop, that's a Photoshop file, or like a Photoshop file, as opposed to an image file. This is an audio file, but it's not a WAV or it's not an MP3. A regular applications can't play the AUP file. It can only be opened by Audacity. If you want to save your audio, export your audio in WAV or MP3 form, well, you do it slightly different. So you have your project saved and then you go File, Export Audio. Okay, and export to computer. I'm just going to always export to computer, so I'm clicking the Don't Show Again. Export to computer. Okay, and I have some options here: what I want the file to be called, where I want to save it to, and the format. There's some other ones here. So I'm going to firstly change it to desktop. I'm going to save it to there. Okay. I'm going to call it in Indraxi. Actually, I'm quite happy with that name. And it's going to be of type WAV. And I'm going to save it as a 44,100 Hertz WAV, 16-bit. That's CD quality. 48 is absolutely fine as well. It's really up to yourself. It's just going with that. And I'm going to save the entire project, export the whole project. And if I press this export, what I should see is I should see a new WAV file called indraxi.wav appearing on the desktop. Boom, there it is. So I can open that. So this should probably just open with Microsoft Player or Windows
Hi
Media
everybody,
Player.
I'm Indraxi Day. I hit.
So there it is. There's that short 11-second clip, that, or 15, whatever it is, clip that we edited earlier. I now have it in AUP, which is a project file, but I also have a WAV file, which I might use elsewhere later on as well.